Welcome to the Profitability Network, where we're always discovering how to create better clients, a better practice, and a better life. Hi, this is Tom Wheelwright, founder and CEO of the Profitability Network, and your host for today. Now, we're in a challenging time right now. But what if this crisis or any crisis could actually be the best of times? Today, we're going to discover how to prosper during a pandemic. I know that sounds uncomfortable. I'm not supposed to prosper during a pandemic. That is our little voice. That's actually one of the things we're going to be discussing in our May conference for CPAs and accounting professionals. So what if though? What if we could actually have a crisis be the best of times? Wouldn't it be better if we could see this as an opportunity as opposed to just a problem, a drag? It's a very uncertain time. It's a very difficult time for everybody. It's stressful. Just getting up in the morning and knowing that there's a pandemic going on is stressful. Just getting dressed, getting ready for the day. I mean, I find that by the time I go to bed at night, I'm pretty much wiped out. That said, I've got to tell you, I love what I do during the day. And it's been the most successful few weeks, I think, of my entire career. And I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I've seen, some of the opportunities that we might have that maybe we're not really thinking about as opportunities. You know, the big question is, how do I get paid during a crisis? I think there's a bigger question than even getting paid. Now we're going to talk about how to get paid. Okay, I'm going to explain how to do that. How do we create success during a crisis? How do we become better during a crisis? How do we get our clients to become more attached to us during a crisis? Because remember, we're only a few weeks here. You know, you're a few weeks into a crisis, lots of uncertainty, lots of stress. At the same time, it's only a few weeks. So we can't do anything about the future, right? We can only do something about the present. So what are we going to do? Well, the first thing is to actually set this mindset. Now, I did a podcast with a negotiator, and he said, you have to envision a positive future. What do you want that positive outcome to be? So if you could think at the beginning of a crisis, okay, and it's kind of hard to do that because we're all panicking, right? It's a panicdemic, right? If you could think though, what would I like the outcome to be? So a minimal outcome would be you'd like to be no worse off than you were at the beginning, right? An optimal outcome is you're actually better than you were at the beginning. You may be a better person, and I know a lot of people have felt that, and they've really been working on themselves during this pandemic, which is a great idea. What though if your practice is better, your clients are better, and actually your revenues are better? So this is what we're going to discuss at our upcoming conference, May 28th through 30th. We're going to do it, of course, video conference, so everybody can attend, and I'll share that detail with you as we get down the road here. But I wanted to share just some thoughts of things that I've seen over the last few weeks of people who have really had amazing success, okay, and versus other people who have been just completely stressed out and basically shut down. So what's the difference? Because we've all seen that, right? We've all seen people who have basically closed up, shut down, and said, I'm not going to get dressed in the morning. I'm not going to shave. I'm not going to do anything in the morning. I'm just going to kind of weather this out. All right. And then we start talking about the new normal, going, well, how long are you going to do that? On the other hand, I've seen business owners who absolutely, completely changed their business and became better at their business, knowing that the new normal may be the new normal forever. Knowing that people are behaving differently now, and they may behave differently for a very long period to come, even if we do find a vaccine, or even if we do find a cure, okay? we still know that, for example, you're watching this, all right? It may not be that you normally watch a video on YouTube, and yet you're watching this one. Well, why? Why are you doing that? Why is that something, is that a new behavior? Well, we know that everybody's consuming information differently, don't we? Everybody's consuming it differently. So one of the first things that we have to do is we have to put ourselves in the place of our client. We need to go, okay, what are they feeling? Now, what's the best way to put yourself in your client's situation? Ask your client. That's right. Pick up the phone, get on a video, and talk to your clients. One of the very first things I did is I thought about all of my clients. Now, I don't have a ton of clients. I only have 40 or 50 of them. But I went through my list and I said, okay, which ones are likely to be struggling? And the first one that came to mind was a physician, because I thought, okay, not everything was shut down at this point, but I thought, you know what if their surgery center is shut down? What if their surgery center is taken over for COVID-19 patients? There's all sorts of what ifs there. And so I picked up the phone, I talked to him, and he said, you know what? Well, a lot of my partners hadn't thought about this. He told me that they were laying a bunch of people off. They were going to then a week later, they had to shut down their surgery center, and they had to take big pay cuts. So I reached out to him. Now, I could have waited for him to reach out for me. But what we decided, my partner and I, we decided at the very beginning of this that our number one goal was to serve our clients. We would worry about money later. Now you go, wait a minute. The title of this is Getting Paid During a Crisis. Here's the key. We tend to think as accountants, as tax advisors, as accounting professionals, that our world is really a 90-10 world, right? We tend to think that, right, 90% is technical. That's why we got into this business. We got into it because we love the technical side of it. I'm a tax nerd. I love the tax side of it. I got into it largely, I got into this profession largely because I love the technical side of it. Then what we do is we think, okay, and then, so if 90% is technical, 10% is relationship. I hope if there's anything that we've learned during the first few weeks and months of this crisis, is that this is backwards. It is not 90-10. It's 10-90. It's 10% technical, 90% relationship. There's an old adage, it's really worn out. I'm going to tell you, it holds true, and we've seen it during this crisis. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. This business of being an accounting professional is 90% relationship and 10% technical. I'm telling you, it is exactly the opposite of what we envisioned in our mind when we started into this profession. Do we need to know the technical? Absolutely. But that is baseline. Okay, that's absolute baseline. If we don't know the technical, can we be better technically than other people? Sure. And that may bring people in, but it's not going to keep them there. What keeps them there is the relationship. The relationship is what keeps people with us. So my partner and I, we decided at the beginning of this crisis that we were going to focus here on the relationships. And so we actually, when the CARES Act came out and we had the new PPP program, we told our clients, you call us with any questions you have. We will answer them, we will help you any way you can, and we will not charge you a dime. Now, we made a conscious decision to do that, and we didn't have to, and our clients weren't expecting that. Our clients could have afforded to pay us for our help. I'm telling you that it was one of the best decisions we've ever made. Because what it showed our clients was we cared more about them than we cared about the money. We cared more about the relationship than we would about the technical, realizing that they were going to be concerned about what was going to happen to them. So what we did was we started by reaching out to the client and finding out, how are they doing? Do they need anything? How can we help them? And then second of all, offering to do it for no charge. Now, how do you do that and make money? Well, first of all, obviously, when you do something like that, you have a different relationship with your client. And in fact, it can massively improve a relationship. Even if you have a rocky relationship, it can massively improve a rocky relationship. But here's the other thing that happens. And I've learned this over and over and over again. Every time you pick up the phone, you get more business. I'm going to tell you one more time. Every time you pick up the phone, you get more business. So the more often you pick up the phone, the more often you're going to get business. Now, some of the business, in this case, we're not charging for that. However, there were opportunities. Somebody said, I had a client say, you know what, my business is fine, and thank you for helping. Can you give me a referral, or what do I do with this PPP program, and kind of walk through it. And then he said, well, wait a minute, here's something else that I need. Well, that something else that he needs, I can bill for that. Why? Because our relationship says that I bill for things that I say, that unless I say otherwise, I'm going to bill them for my time. Okay? Attorneys are really good at billing, right? I mean, you've seen it. Every single 10 minutes gets billed. Accountants are terrible. I've known accounting firms that they billed for tax returns and never billed for consulting. I'm going, this is backwards. The clients don't value tax returns. They value consulting. They value what you actually do for them going forward much more than they value what you do for them in the past. And the tax returns and financial statements are in the past. So we start out, we're trying to focus on how do we make this the best of time. We're focusing on the relationship versus the technical. Now, here's another way to look at it. Are you going to be defensive, or are you going to take the offensive here? See, what my partner and I did when we decided that we would, and we just sent an email blast to our clients and said, look, we want to help you. Now, we actually did this in another way too. There were certain clients that we called them, and when we asked them how they were doing, they said they were struggling. We said, well, look, if you are going to need some time paying your tax return fees, please let us know. We are happy to work with you. Now, I've had negotiators tell me that's a terrible thing to do. You really should not be offering to reduce your price right off the bat. I mean, you're making the first move, but you're losing. I'm going, I don't think so. Because what I'm doing is I'm focusing on the relationship. I'm focusing on what can I do to help you get through this crisis. Knowing that if I do that, and I do it proactively, okay? If I proactively help you, then you're likely, what's a client going to say? You proactively go to them and say, look, if you need help, please, let us know if you need help paying for your tax return. Are you going to need payments for this? Okay? The first reaction is going to be, no, I'm good. I'm good. They're going to completely back off that. Great. Okay? You win, right? And the client wins. What if the client says, you know what? I may need some help. Thank you very much. What have you lost? If they need help, they're going to need it anyway. So it's different if it's a customer you don't know, but we know our clients. This is, we have a different relationship with our clients than, that's why we call them client, not customer, right? They're not somebody that we deal with once in a blue moon. These are people we deal with on a regular basis. So if we have thousands of clients, are we going to do this for thousands of clients? Probably not. We're probably going to change how we communicate with them, right? Depending on basically, what our relationship is. So if our relationship is a once or twice a year relationship, we may just deal with them through email, maybe a video, maybe a newsletter, something like that. And that may be how we deal with them. On the other hand, if this is a client that we talk to on a regular basis, we need to pick up the phone. We need to have that conversation and we need to make the offer. Do it proactively. Okay, so rather than being reactive to this, let's be proactive. Now, what happens when we're proactive? The big concern that a lot of people have is, well, wait a minute, man, I do all this. Tell you what, I'm going to be overwhelmed. I'm going to absolutely be overwhelmed. Let me share something that I've learned. If I'm taking control of the situation, I'm only overwhelmed. To me, that is like saying I'm out of control. I'm out of control of the situation. I'm not in control of the situation. By being proactive, now we've taken control of our situation. We've taken control of our life. We've taken control of our clients. We've taken control of our practice. Same thing goes with employees. Having employees is, we know that's all relationship, right? And it's not just hi, how you doing, that kind of stuff, although that's important. We certainly do have the weekly check-in with our employees. What's important is that that relationship is one of respect. So we have respect for our employees, for example, but they have respect for us. They appreciate. Our employees, I guarantee you, every one of them, they've told us over and over, we so appreciate that we still have a job. We so appreciate that we're taking care of our clients and that we're not stressed out. Okay, what we're trying to do is we're trying to pull the stress off of clients because clients feel like they're out of control. So we're helping to give them a modicum of control over their life during a very, very uncomfortable period of time globally. When we do that, that's going to generate more respect, a better relationship. So what we end up with is we end up actually with better payment for our services, not worse payment. Okay? The worst thing you can do, absolutely the worst thing you can do, is bill somebody without telling them you're going to bill them. It's the worst thing in the world. Think about this. Think about years ago. You'd go to a car mechanic and you'd say, okay, I need new brakes. And then you'd go back and pick up your car and you had new brakes, right? You'd had a tune-up, right? And you had your tires replaced and it was like $600 when you were expecting it to be $90. That used to happen all the time. Well, guess what? The car mechanics figured it out. We have to tell you ahead of time. So they always let you know ahead of time, here's what it is. Are you okay? Would you like us to do this? Well, why wouldn't we behave the same way? And especially during a crisis. Remember, the stress levels are far higher during a crisis. It's not just yours, your client's stress level. Our goal, I think our number one job, period, as CPAs and accounting professionals, is to relieve stress. That is our number one goal as financial professionals, to relieve stress. What are they stressed about? Well, a lot of times they're stressed about the IRS. They're stressed about taxes. Right now, they're stressed because they may not have a job. They're stressed because their business is struggling. So what can we do to help relieve that stress? Well, let's take some pressure off, okay? Let's relieve some of that stress, open a pressure valve, and let's do it by communicating with them, by not billing them for every single minute of the day, letting them know we care, and giving them back some control over their life so that we're telling them ahead of time, this is what to expect. This is, okay, is it okay? Would you like us to do this project? We think it's going to cost about this much. Are you okay with that? We don't ever even bill a tax return. We don't even start a tax return until we've let the client know how much it's going to cost and receive their okay that cost is okay with them. Because it's not fair. When we relieve their stress, guess what happens? We relieve our own stress. Because no longer are we wondering, are they going to pay us? No longer are we wondering, are they going to keep calling us? We've dedicated time. We've proactively taken charge, gone on the offense, not being defensive, and taken control of our own life, helping our clients take care of theirs. And by doing so, we've really improved that relationship, and not just for a short period of time. However we behave during this crisis is going to affect us for a very long period of time. So I want to invite you all to our 3-day continuing education seminar. It's our annual conference, and it's all about this word. It's all about profitability. This is an uncertain time for us, an uncertain time for our clients. So how do we maintain our profitability during a time when people are calling us and not expecting to pay us for that time? How do we maintain that relationship? How do we do things proactively so that our clients appreciate us and are very happy to pay us when we're doing their tax return or when we're doing other consulting? Here's what we're going to do. May 28th through 30th. Okay, May 28th through 30th, we're going to have a 3-day, basically 2.5-day webinar. And that 2.5 days is going to be video conference. We have some of the best speakers in the world, including one of my favorites, Kim Kiyosaki. Kim is an amazing person. Okay, we think of her as Robert Kiyosaki's wife. She is a very powerful woman in her own right. She really doesn't need Robert. And she is going to talk to us about how do we transform our experience with our customers, with our clients. How do we transform that? How do we become more transparent? How do we work so that we're transforming our entire life, help our clients transform their life, and thereby transform our practice? And I will tell you, I've heard her many, many times. I've traveled the world with Kim and Robert. And just the opportunity to listen to her is worth coming. So please join us May 28th through 30th. We do have a very special price. I do believe, like I mentioned, I want to be proactive. I believe that we need to be particularly sensitive during this time. So we would normally charge upwards of $19.97 for this conference. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to tell you right now. It's going to be $497 for 20 plus CPE hours. okay, 20 plus hours. And we want you to get your hours. We want it to be fun. We have amazing speakers like Kim Kiyosaki, Andy Tanner, Doug Laudmal, others that will just blow your socks off, that really know how to work with clients, really know how to build profitable companies, and they want to help you build your company and help you be profitable, because the reality is that we need to be profitable. We do. As CPAs, we need to be profitable, else we can't help our clients, and we can't help our staff. We can't keep our staff employed, and we can't take care of our clients' needs in the financial area, and particularly in reducing their taxes. So join us May 28th through 30th. It'll be online, no travel cost whatsoever. Okay, you don't even have to get dressed up for this one. Okay, you won't be on video, I will be. And so please come join us May 28th through 30th so that you can have better clients, a better practice, and a better life. See you there.